Jasmine Panita, is fired by TLC. Fans were never told. The explosive story. Hello everyone. Welcome back to another exciting video. Jennifer from 90 Day Insider is here again to bring you drama, behind-the-scenes stories, and the latest updates you won't want to miss. Today's story is one of the most shocking and unforgettable events in the history of 90 Day Fiancé. Let's get into it. The world of reality TV shifted dramatically when Jasmine Panita was fired from 90 Day Fiancé. It was a stunning and unanticipated fall for someone who had once commanded nearly every scene she was in. Producers, fans, and even fellow cast members were taken by surprise. What began as blazing charm and unforgettable energy soon turned into controversy, tension, and turmoil. Her departure wasn't just another cast exit. It became one of the most talked about dismissals in TLC's history. Insiders claimed Jasmine's firing was not a quick or easy decision. Producers had been struggling for some time to manage her behavior, guide her storyline, and keep the production under control. But as the season progressed, it became clear that things behind the scenes were spiraling. Conflicts with cast members grew heated, altercations on set became frequent, and Jasmine often refused to follow specific instructions from producers. Tensions reached a point where it was impossible to maintain balance. For TLC, a network famous for carefully crafting reality storylines, the decision to let her go wasn't just a response to fan complaints. It was a calculated move to preserve the integrity of the show and prevent larger problems. According to some accounts, the final straw may have been an explosive altercation on set that was captured on unreleased video. Insiders believe producers worried that keeping Jasmine on the show would not only endanger multiple story arcs, but also alienate viewers who had already begun to grow divided over her behavior. The situation did not end there. Jasmine shocked everyone when she filed a lawsuit against TLC after her firing, sending shockwaves through the reality TV industry. According to insiders, her accusations included breach of contract, defamation, and damage to her reputation. The exact details remain under court restrictions, but the lawsuit raised serious questions about the blurred line between entertainment and personal consequences in reality television. It forced both fans and critics to ask whether producers sometimes push too far in shaping storylines, crossing into manipulation that can have lasting effects on a cast member's life. As news of the lawsuit broke, social media erupted. Fans were deeply divided, and the debates grew intense. Some supporters expressed sympathy for Jasmine, insisting she had been portrayed unfairly. They argued that her feisty and outspoken nature was exaggerated by producers to fit a dramatic narrative. Many comments on her social media echoed sentiments like she was set up to fail, or TLC used her for ratings. On the other hand, critics strongly believed Jasmine had no one to blame but herself. They circulated clips of her on-screen arguments, fiery confrontations, and tense moments with other cast members. For them, her downfall was inevitable. Comments such as "she brought this on herself" and "reality TV doesn't forgive uncontrolled behavior" dominated the opposing side of the debate. The clash between supporters and detractors was so strong that hashtags about her departure trended across multiple platforms, generating thousands of posts and heated conversations. Jasmine's legacy on the show remains complex. To some, she is still a fan favorite remembered for her bold personality, honesty, and refusal to back down. Many fans continue to share her most memorable clips online, celebrating her energy and authenticity. Yet her story also stands as a cautionary tale about the unforgiving nature of reality TV. Fame can be fleeting, and admiration can quickly turn into criticism and backlash. Jasmine's rise and fall show just how swiftly public perception and backstage tension can alter the path of a reality star. Her journey also sheds light on the realities of life in the world of reality TV. Unlike scripted shows, reality programs thrive on unpredictability, conflict, and drama. But there is a delicate balance that stars must maintain. With cameras constantly rolling and fans watching on social media, cast members walk a fine line between being authentic and meeting the demands of production. Jasmine's case shows how unresolved disputes and producer-driven narratives can become destructive, no matter how beloved a cast member might be. Beyond the professional fallout, Jasmine also faced personal struggles. People close to her revealed that the combination of legal disputes, conflicts on set, and relentless criticism took a heavy toll on her mental health. It's especially cruel, they explained, to live in a world where you can be adored one moment and demonized the next. Audiences often forget that behind the drama, reality TV stars are real people dealing with enormous pressure. Jasmine's story highlights the hidden emotional and psychological costs that fame and exposure can bring. Her conflict with TLC also underscored the fragile trust between networks and their stars. When creative control, contractual obligations, and public perception collide, the results can be devastating for both sides. The situation raised questions about how much power networks should have in shaping a person's life and reputation, and what responsibility they carry for the long-term consequences on cast members. Even though her time on 90 Day Fiancé ended suddenly, Jasmine has not disappeared from the public eye. She remains active on social media, engaging with fans, sharing her perspective, and at times responding to criticism. Her voice still carries weight, and her story continues to fuel discussions about fairness, representation, and the high demands placed on reality TV stars. Some fans even speculate that her ongoing legal disputes could one day lead to a settlement or even pave the way for her return to television. Whether or not that happens, her name will remain firmly embedded in the show's history. Jasmine's story is ultimately one of ambition, conflict, and consequence. Her transformation from beloved fan favorite to controversial figure happened fast, and it reveals just how harsh the world of reality TV can be. From her dismissal, to her lawsuit against TLC, to the ongoing debate among fans, her journey is both a warning and an inspiration. It shows the power of narrative, ratings, and perception, and how they can change someone's life overnight. In the end, Jasmine Panita's legacy is undeniable. Whether she is remembered as a cautionary example or celebrated as a fearless personality, her chapter in the ever-changing saga of 90 Day Fiancé will continue to be discussed for years to come. Her rise, her conflicts, and her abrupt exit form a story that perfectly illustrates the risks of reality stardom. The glamour, the danger, and the human cost at first, the moments that made Jasmine Panita stand out seemed amusing. Her sharp remarks, fiery reactions, and bold personality were entertaining to watch. But as time went on, those very moments started to divide the audience. Fans who once applauded her for being fearless and outspoken began to criticize her for being too quick to anger. Social media played a major role in this shift. Clips of Jasmine arguing with partners and castmates, sometimes cut out of context, spread quickly online. The idea began to form that she was simply too volatile for reality television. The tipping point came with backlash on social media. Jasmine saw for herself that being a reality TV star in the digital age was a double-edged sword. Every word she spoke, every gesture she made, was dissected across fan forums, YouTube reaction channels, Instagram stories, and Twitter threads. Her supporters praised her for being brutally honest and unapologetic. They insisted she was just being herself, and that was refreshing. But her critics accused her of being argumentative, dramatic, and manipulative. Following a series of especially heated on-camera exchanges, the criticism reached new levels. While some defended her right to express her opinions, others accused her of stirring up drama simply to get attention. Fan edits, commentary videos, and memes spread like wildfire, fueling debate and shaping the way the wider public began to view her. What had once been celebrated as strength now came across to many as chaos. Behind the scenes, things were just as turbulent. While fans debated her actions online, insiders say the biggest conflicts happened off camera. Reports claimed Jasmine clashed with the production team because she refused to tone down her behavior or follow the storyline producers wanted. She pushed back when she felt their instructions were fake or forced, choosing what she believed was authentic over scripted drama. In reality TV, authenticity is valuable but only to a point. Producers also need predictability to make the show run smoothly. Sources said Jasmine's refusal to compromise led to production delays, scheduling issues, and constant tension with both cast and crew. Some even mentioned that her combative nature spilled into pre-production meetings, sparking arguments over dialogue, how scenes were staged, and even the direction of entire episodes. Despite early attempts by producers to mediate and smooth things over, her continued defiance created a growing problem. Her presence on the show became harder and harder to manage. As the drama mounted, fans' perceptions began to change. The same confidence and boldness that had once made Jasmine a fan favorite were now being painted as arrogance and aggression. Online debates cast her as unpredictable, even disruptive. Many viewers began to argue that her presence made the show unstable. Yet opinions remained divided. Her supporters insisted she was just straightforward and honest, arguing that people disliked her simply because she told uncomfortable truths. Critics, however, doubled down, saying she was impossible to work with and that TLC had made the right choice in removing her. Thousands of posts picked apart her every move, and reaction videos replayed her disagreements again and again, making her the lightning rod of the season's online discourse. Some moments stood out in particular. One especially tense argument reportedly happened during a family introduction with another cast member. Insiders said the situation got so heated that producers had to step in personally. Though that footage never aired, word of it spread quickly, reinforcing the narrative that Jasmine was difficult to handle. She also allegedly refused to film certain scenes because she felt they were fake, which threw production into disarray and forced the crew to make last-minute adjustments. It was during this period, according to insiders, that tensions between Jasmine and the production team hit their peak. Long-standing frustrations came to the surface, and arguments escalated into private meetings about whether her behavior could be tolerated any longer. For TLC, the decision was not an easy one. Removing someone like Jasmine was risky. She brought undeniable star power and attention to the show. Her fiery personality boosted ratings, but the constant conflicts behind the scenes disrupted production. Reports say the network weighed her popularity against the problems she caused. In the end, stability and the integrity of the show outweighed her individual draw. TLC made the call to cut her, prioritizing the smooth flow of the series and protecting future storylines from being derailed. It wasn't just about one argument or one incident. It was about preserving the long-term success of the program. When news broke that Jasmine had been removed, fans were stunned. Even cast members were caught off guard. Sources described the atmosphere on set during her final episodes as tense and uncertain, with producers scrambling to craft a storyline that explained her sudden exit without overshadowing the rest of the cast. Almost immediately after the announcement, social media exploded with speculation. Some claimed her firing was due to misconduct, while others blamed creative disagreements. Fans dissected her most recent appearances, searching for clues that hinted TLC had grown tired of her fiery personality. The fallout was swift and harsh. Jasmine's reputation took a major hit. Clips of her altercations were played and replayed, fueling the image that she was combative, erratic, and even manipulative. Critics said these videos proved she had to go. Supporters countered that she had been unfairly targeted, edited to look worse than she really was, and discarded once she no longer fit TLC's narrative. Either way, she became one of the most talked about figures of that season, not always for good reasons. Ironically, being removed from the show only made her more famous. Her name trended online, her story sparked endless debates, and her notoriety grew. Reality TV often rewards controversy just as much as it rewards success, and Jasmine was proof of that. Her story holds important lessons about the world of reality TV. First, social media can completely change a cast member's reputation, amplifying both praise and criticism until the public perception shifts dramatically. Second, what happens off camera can be just as influential as what happens on screen. Behind-the-scenes conflicts can shape the future of a character more than the moments audiences actually get to watch. And third, reality TV fame is fleeting. Being popular with viewers doesn't guarantee protection from the consequences of personal choices or production decisions. Every reality star has a beginning, the moment when audiences first take notice. For Jasmine Panita, that moment came with her introduction on 90 Day Fiancé. Her charm, energy, and unfiltered honesty grabbed attention right away. From her very first episodes, it was clear she was going to stand out. She wasn't just another cast member, she was a force, Before all of this, Jasmine's early life had already shaped the person she became. Born and raised in a place where she faced challenges, she developed the independence and strength that defined her on-screen image. Friends and family describe her as loyal, passionate, and direct. Those qualities made her both magnetic and polarizing once she entered the reality TV spotlight. Her early experiences gave her the confidence to shine in any situation. Whether she was pursuing personal goals or navigating family expectations, she had a boldness that demanded attention. That same boldness would later make her unforgettable on television, but it would also contribute to the conflicts that defined her dramatic exit. This same assurance carried over naturally into reality TV, where a star's success often depends on being genuine and having a strong personality. Jasmine Panita had both. She didn't need to pretend or hide behind a polished image, because what made her stand out was her candor. For producers, that made her irresistible. When she went through the 90-day Fiancé casting process, it was obvious to those in charge that she was a standout. Casting experts explained that she was different from others auditioning. Many hopefuls tried to present themselves as TV-ready, polished, and controlled, but Jasmine came across as raw, passionate, and completely open about her life and relationships. She was authentic, sometimes brutally so, and that level of honesty caught everyone's attention. Producers quickly saw potential in her. She was the kind of personality who could create unforgettable television, a person who would inspire both drama and admiration, two key ingredients that drive viewership. Jasmine's fiery, audacious character promised to shake up the dynamics of the show and deliver moments of unfiltered emotion. Casting her was not a gamble. It was a calculated move to bring in a star who could not be ignored. When Jasmine finally appeared on screen, the impact was immediate. She had an energy that grabbed people. Her humor, her confidence, and her willingness to speak her mind made her stand out right away. Viewers quickly began to appreciate her for being real in a genre often criticized for its staged and manufactured drama. Fans celebrated her online, making memes out of her most memorable lines and sharing clips of her reactions. Social media buzzed with discussions about her, and her presence became one of the hottest topics among 90-Day Fiancé audiences. What set Jasmine apart was her ability to balance charm with determination. In one moment, she could be firm and unshakable, standing her ground in an argument, and in the next, she could be tender and vulnerable. This complexity made her feel more layered and relatable than the average reality TV personality. Fans didn't just see a dramatic figure. They saw a woman who could make them laugh, stir strong emotions, and reveal real moments of humanity. For that reason, she quickly became a favorite. But even in those early episodes, there were signs of potential trouble. Jasmine's assertiveness sometimes clashed with the personalities of other cast members. The sparks made for exciting television, but they also hinted at bigger issues ahead. These early disagreements might have seemed small at the time, but they foreshadowed the larger conflicts that would later define her journey on the show. Viewers noticed them too. Fans online speculated about where these tensions might lead, and while some praised her boldness, others predicted that her fiery attitude could eventually cause major problems. Looking back, it's clear that these early moments marked the beginning of a pattern that would follow her throughout her time on 90-Day Fiancé. Behind the cameras, Jasmine's strong will was just as apparent. Producers noticed quickly that while her energy made her entertaining, it also made her difficult to control. Reality TV relies on shaping narratives, guiding interactions, and sometimes encouraging stage drama to keep storylines flowing. Jasmine, however, didn't always go along with that. Her sincerity sometimes caused tension because she wanted to act and react authentically, not follow directions or scripted outlines. Reports suggest that Jasmine regularly shared her thoughts about how scenes should unfold. She didn't hesitate to tell producers when she disagreed with their ideas. She pushed to keep things real rather than manufactured, which made her a captivating presence on screen, but also set her up for frequent confrontations behind the scenes. While her unwillingness to bend made her a star in the eyes of fans, it created headaches for those responsible for managing the production. Over time, this clash of priorities only grew more intense. On social media, the reaction to Jasmine was explosive. As soon as her episodes aired, Online communities lit up with comments, reactions, and debates. Her wit and her straightforward approach to love and life earned her countless admirers. Fans made viral memes out of her remarks, turned her funniest or most dramatic scenes into GIFs, and kept her in constant circulation across platforms. Yet not all of the attention was positive. The same qualities that her supporters loved, her bluntness, her fire, her refusal to sugarcoat, were exactly what her critics attacked. Some accused her of being too combative and predicted she would only bring unnecessary drama to the show. Social media split into two camps, those who saw her as refreshingly real and those who saw her as a ticking time bomb. But whether people loved her or hated her, one thing was clear. Everyone was talking about her. This level of attention solidified her position as more than just another cast member. She became one of the defining personalities of her season. Jasmine wasn't simply participating in the show. She was driving the conversation around it. She became the subject of commentary videos, fan threads, and endless debates. And for reality TV, that kind of attention is gold. By the end of her first season, Jasmine had grown into one of the most talked about figures in the 90 Day Fiancé universe. Her presence affected not only her own storylines, but the overall dynamics of the show. Fans waited eagerly to see what she would do next, and producers knew she had the kind of star power that could carry entire episodes. The buildup of expectation for her future appearances was enormous. She was no longer just a fresh face on reality TV. She was a rising star whose journey audiences couldn't look away from. At this stage, Jasmine's story seemed like a success. She had gone from an unknown auditioning for a chance to be on the show to a breakout name commanding attention both on screen and across social media. Her strong will, her confidence, and her unfiltered personality had brought her fame and influence. But as with so many reality TV stories, the same qualities that made her unforgettable would also lead to her most difficult challenges later on. Jasmine's beginning on 90 Day Fiancé showed the promise and danger of reality TV stardom. She was genuine, powerful, and impossible to ignore. Audiences admired her, producers relied on her, and social media made her a star. But underneath the admiration were early signs of conflict. Moments that hinted her boldness might one day collide with the structure of the show itself. And as her journey continued, those small sparks of tension would grow into fires too big to control. As time went on, the conversation around Bilal did not fade. Even after his removal from the show, fans continued to dig through every detail of his appearances. Old clips resurfaced, memes were remade, and commentary channels replayed his scenes with new context. Every smile, every romantic gesture, every word of reassurance was reinterpreted as a calculated act. What once seemed charming now seemed strategic, and the love story that had captured so many hearts was now viewed through suspicion and mistrust. The shock among fans was personal. Many had rooted for him, invested in his relationship, and celebrated his milestones. To discover that the man they supported might have been manipulating not only his spouse, but also the audience felt like a betrayal. Fans didn't just feel disappointed, they felt deceived. Social media posts poured in from people who admitted they had defended him in arguments, praised him online, and even used him as an example of a devoted partner. Now they were left questioning their own judgment, a reminder of how easily charm can disguise darker intentions. Media outlets continued to cover the story, each new article or interview adding another layer to the narrative. Insiders spoke cautiously, offering glimpses of what happened off camera. Some confirmed the controlling behaviors and financial secrecy that had been hinted at during filming. Others described how difficult it had been to manage him behind the scenes, explaining that what viewers saw was only part of the story. Industry experts joined in, saying Bilal's case highlighted how vulnerable reality TV participants can be when private lives are exposed for entertainment. The scandal became not just about him, but about the entire system of reality television. In the broader sense, the story became a mirror for viewers. It forced people to confront how easily they can be persuaded by appearances, how quickly they can fall into believing a curated persona, and how dangerous blind trust can be. Many fans admitted they would now watch reality TV with more critical eyes, aware that the most charming characters may not be the most genuine. The scandal was not just entertainment, it was a lesson. As months passed, the intensity of the story slowly faded, but the discussions never fully stopped. Fans still revisit old clips, dissecting every detail. Analysts still reference the case when talking about the ethics of reality TV. And for TLC, it remains a turning point, a reminder that the cost of ignoring manipulation is far greater than the short-term boost of ratings. Bilal's story, once one of devotion and charm, had transformed into one of deception and downfall. It left behind a legacy of mistrust, a warning for viewers, and a challenge for networks to do better. For fans, it became a reminder to question what they see. For producers, a call to prioritize safety and integrity. And for Bilal himself, it became the defining chapter of his reality TV journey, one forever marked by scandal, speculation, and the shadow of betrayal.